last year, after being burnt out by producing near hour-long phone reviews, I rediscovered my love for photography. And over the last few months, I've been on the hunt for the best camera smartphone. My search has brought me far and wide: Beijing, Barcelona, Cupertino, San Jose. Last week, I traveled to Xi'an in China, home to the famed terracotta warriors, for the launch of the newest contender in this space, the OPPO Find X8 Ultra. This phone has 5 rear cameras packed into an ultra-thin frame. And on this trip, I took over 3,000 photos to really put it through its paces. Could this be our new winner? Hi, I'm Michael Josh, your gadget matchmaker, and over the last decade, I've made it my job to show people around the world that tech can be easy, fun, and exciting. On this channel, I give you special access to the products I review, the events I attend, and all the interesting people I get to meet along the way. So, if you love photography as much as I do, give the channel a like and subscribe, and I'll help you find the right smartphone camera to match your needs. This is our OPPO Find X8 Ultra review. As far as I'm concerned, OPPO already has a flagship smartphone, the Find X8 Pro, which it unveiled late last year and got a global launch. This was me at that launch in Indonesia. But while this phone is already excellent in every sense, the China-only X8 Ultra is even better, existing primarily as a showcase of what OPPO can do. If I were to describe this phone to the everyday user, I'd call it a super phone. Think about everything that you'd want from a top-of-the-line smartphone in 2025. And the OPPO Find X8 Ultra has it. Excellently designed hardware and software, a great display that's large with thin bezels, vibrant and bright, a top-of-the-line processor, plenty of extra fast RAM and storage, an extra large silicon carbon battery, super fast wired and wireless charging, both an IP68 and IP69 rating, an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which, by the way, is a huge upgrade from last year's X7 Ultra, incredible haptics, one of the best on an Android phone I've ever tested, and support for the latest connectivity standards. The Find X8 Ultra checks all of these boxes. On top of that, it has a unique set of cameras that go above and beyond what the average user needs. If you're a camera fanatic, this is a phone you will love. If you're a techie who wants the best of the best, this is the phone that you've been dreaming of. We'll come back to the phone and the rest of the trip to Xi'an in a bit, but while we're on the topic of travel, just a few weeks ago, a fire at London Heathrow took down 2 nearby power substations, leaving the airport closed for 18 hours. And it's really got me thinking about the importance of backup power. While we haven't experienced a major outage in New York since Hurricane Sandy in 2012, a recent search on Reddit shows at least 2 reports in my area of Williamsburg and Greenpoint in just the last 2 months. What would happen to all the ice cream in my fridge? Or even worse, what about Wi-Fi? This is where this video's sponsor, Jackery, and their essential home backup solution comes in. Let me explain. Say you're abroad and your roaming package only gives you 1 gigabyte of roaming data per day. You don't want all of your apps consuming it, just the essential ones. That's what Essential Home Backup does. In case of a power outage, the system is designed to deliver power to the appliances that you need the most, like your fridge, Wi-Fi router, and light. Or, in the case of this poor Redditor, the radiator. Jackery sent me their Solar Power 5000 Plus to test out, which comes with everything you see here. The Explorer 5000 Plus is a large power bank for all your appliances. It packs 5 kilowatt hours of juice, which is enough to power essential appliances for up to 30 hours. And while it might look big in my tiny New York City space, it's the smallest one of its size in the market today, and is designed to be portable with built-in wheels and a retractable handle, which also means it's perfect to take on a camping trip. Now that it's spring, maybe that's an idea for another video. Like a power bank for your phone, you can charge it by just plugging it into an electrical outlet. That takes about 3.5 hours. Or you can connect it to the bundled Solar Saga 500X and recharge with the sun. I was so excited to set these solar panels up on my patio. It's been a long time dream. Now, because my space limits the angles at which I can mount them, it took me over 2 days to go from 0 to 100%, which isn't bad, but with the right conditions, it can take as little as 6.5 hours. That said, I just love being able to tap into the energy from the sun. It was like free electricity. And since then, I've used it to power my studio lights and for recharging all my devices. The missing piece of this puzzle is something that I opted not to get because I live in a rental, but it's something I definitely recommend if you own your own house. It's called the Smart Transfer Switch. When paired with the Explorer 5000 Plus, it provides uninterrupted power supply, or UPS, to your home. In case of a power outage, as its name implies, it automatically switches to backup power in just 2.5 milliseconds, so you're never offline. And the best part, you can assign up to 12 circuits to essential appliances you want to keep up and running. Actually, the best part is that the whole system is much cheaper than whole home backup, which costs 2 times more. With seamless UPS, massive capacity, and ultra-efficient solar charging, Jackery keeps you always powered, always prepared. If you're in the market for your own essential home backup solution, make sure to check out the link in the description box below. We thank Jackery for sponsoring this video. When it comes to design, you'll find that the X8 Ultra is both classic and understated. It's got that elegant, flat aesthetic, both on its display and its frame, with just the subtlest of contoured edges making it comfortable to hold. Compare that to, say, the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which doesn't have any contoured edges and feels boxy and sharp in the hands. Last year's Find X7 Ultra was curvy and two-toned with faux leather trimming, a direction OPPO looks to be moving away from as it embraces a more sophisticated sense of style. This year's black camera bump, which they call the Cosmos ring, provides the only bit of contrast. Even the OPPO logo is barely there, faintly printed on the phone's matte satin glass back. It's starkly different from the flashy Xiaomi 15 Ultra that's designed to look like a camera, or Vivo's upcoming X200 Ultra with its silver window pane treatment. I like how this phone looks, and it slots right in with the rest of the Find X8 family, reinforcing that brand identity. The phone comes in 3 colors: pure white, which is what I was rocking all week in Xi'an, matte black, and shell pink, which has the faintest bit of color. But what really stands out about the X8 Ultra's design is how thin it is, vis-a-vis all the components that are packed inside this phone. According to OPPO, it was important for them to build a phone that was both thin and lightweight to make it usable for everyday users. It's slimmer than its closest competitor, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, and has better weight distribution compared to the Vivo X200 Pro, which is a little bit top-heavy. Some other noticeable hardware changes. Gone is the fan-favorite alert slider that OPPO adopted from sister company OnePlus 2 years ago. In its place comes the shortcut button, which is basically a copy of Apple's action button, from functionality down to the look and feel of its software. You can set it to one of many shortcuts like ring, vibrate, or silent, DND, camera, flashlight, voice recorder, translate, or screenshots. There's also the quick button over here, which we first saw on the Find X8 Pro, but now is on its 2nd generation. It's basically a dedicated camera button. You can double press to launch the camera, swipe to zoom in and out in landscape mode, press to take a photo, and long pressed for burst mode. I didn't use it a lot as it appears both slow and counterintuitive, a feeling I share about camera control on my iPhone. The Find X8 Ultra packs a massive 6,100 mAh battery, the largest on an Ultra phone today. I remember not too long ago when phones began supporting 5,000 mAh batteries for the first time, and how massive that sounded. I can't believe we're now at a point where phones have 6,000 mAh batteries. This is mostly thanks to next generation battery tech called silicon carbon, which is different to the usual lithium ion and allows for more densely packed batteries. During my week in China, the phone would last a full day of non-stop camera use, But back here in the States with more average use, I've been getting about a day and a half to 2 days of use out of it. Charging is super fast too, with support for OPPO's very own Super VOOC technology. You get 100 watts wired and 50 watts wireless. And in our GadgetMatch charge test, using the bundled 100-watt charger and cable, the phone got from 0 to 42% in 10 minutes, 95% in 30. A full charge took just 35 minutes. Wow. Meanwhile, using the optional OPPO 50-watt AirVOOC wireless charging stand, we got a 47% top-up in 30 minutes, 90% in an hour. A full wireless charge took 1 hour and 15 minutes. During its launch event, OPPO announced cases for the Find X8 Ultra. I tried to pick one up while in China, but the phone had not yet gone on sale. But it'll probably look like this case, which I picked up for my Find X8 Pro in Thailand. Notice these rings over here. With these magnets, the phone will work with OPPO's magnetic wireless charger and magnetic power bank, as well as other Apple MagSafe accessories. I'm hoping that in a future iteration like the iPhone, the phone will have these magnets built in. And now the part that I'm sure all of you have been waiting for. It's time to talk about the Find X8 Ultra's 5 cameras. It's got a 50 megapixel ultra wide, a 50 megapixel main camera with a 1-inch sensor, a 50 megapixel 3x periscope telephoto, a 50 megapixel 6x periscope telephoto, and a true chrome camera, which isn't used for taking photos, but serves as a spectral sensor for improved white balance. OPPO engineers tell us it was very important for them to cover the entire spectrum from 0.6 all the way up to 12x with high quality stills and consistent color reproduction. So let's find out if they've achieved just that. Here's an ultra-wide photo of Bay Glory, a large observation wheel located in Shanghai Bay in Shenzhen. I shot this first 0.6x shot from a flower-lined bridge about 200 meters away. Notice the bougainvillea in the foreground. Here's 1x and 2x. And by 3x, the wheel can no longer fit into the frame, but we can zoom in even further. This is 6x. Notice from 0.6 to 6x, quality remains the same. Let's pick that middle pod and zoom in further, shall we? Beyond 10x, AI telescope zoom kicks in, which means AI is used to supplement some of the detail loss so that photos still remain sharp. This is 13.4x or 300 millimeters, and then 30x or 668 millimeters. Normally 30x is where I'd stop, but because we're doing a review, let's zoom in even further. Here are the shots at 60x and finally 120x. We can see that inside the pod there are flowers which look like they're wrapped in plastic. After 60x, AI models are even further activated to enhance details. I've seen this before on the Magic 7 Pro, but OPPO's implementation is so much better. First, it doesn't require the internet to work, and the results look much more natural, as you can see from this comparison photo. I'll have more samples coming your way when we talk about the phone's 2 periscope cameras, but first, I'd like to revisit the phone's main camera, which comes with a 1-inch sensor. Now, when it comes to smartphone photography, the larger the sensor, the better. And this 1-inch sensor is everything. It's so large, it's the same size as a sensor on a compact camera like the Sony RX100, 63% larger than the sensor on the main camera of the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and 69% larger than the sensor on the main camera of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. That means better low light sensitivity and a shallower depth of field. So even after a few drinks at a dimly lit bar, this Cheers photo came out looking sharp. So did this one of my Xi'an hotel, which I took while walking, as did this quick one I snapped as I entered this cool karaoke bar in Shenzhen. Let's zoom in on all that detail from this night shot of the Duomo in Milan, or enjoy that creamy natural bokeh behind this Ugo Spritz I had in Paris, or of this milk tea drink at Xi'an's Muslim Quarter, or the series of photos of a group of seniors doing Tai Chi by Qijiang Park. This main camera is so good, and I can only hope that Samsung and Apple will also bring 1-inch sensors to smartphone cameras, maybe one day. But where the Find X8 Ultra's cameras really shine are its two periscope cameras. It's not the first time I've seen two zoom lenses on a phone. On the current 2025 roster, both the Galaxy S25 Ultra and the Xiaomi 15 Ultra have two. Now, why is this significant? TLDR, the greater the focal length, the more complicated the lens elements. This is why telephoto lenses that photographers use to shoot wildlife are massive. To fit these complex lens elements into a smartphone, manufacturers arrange image sensors vertically and bounce light around using prisms. This allows them to have larger image sensors with more megapixels. Samsung's Galaxy S25 Ultra has two telephoto cameras, but only one periscope, used for 5x zoom, which is why its 3x tele isn't as good. The same is true on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. Their 4.7x camera is the better tele, as it's the one with the periscope. In the case of the Find X8 Ultra, both the 3x and the 6x telephoto cameras are periscopes, and as a result, both have larger sensors. How much larger? At 1/1.56 inches, the sensor on the Find X8 Ultra's 3x tele camera is 300% larger than that on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Meaning, even in low light conditions and moving subjects, zoomed-in shots are still very good. A perfect example of this are these shots I took of OPPO Chief Product Officer Pete Lau during the keynote. These are all 30x shots. For context, this is what it looked like at 1x from my seat. Even in the most challenging of situations, a dimly lit room with Pete walking around the stage, the Find X8 Ultra was able to capture decently sharp photos of him at 30x. As an Hermes fan, I can even spot that he's got a pair of Hermes kid sneakers on. I also love these examples from this cute but very dimly lit bar that makes tea-based cocktails. A pair of Lucky Cats at 6x, 13.4, and 30x. And this golden dragon at 3x and 6x. Here's another example shot at Tang Paradise on a cloudy day at 6x, 10x, 20x, 60x, and 120x. Of course, our trip to Xi'an wouldn't be complete without a visit to the famed terracotta warriors. Thousands of clay soldiers guarding the tomb of China's first emperor, Qi Shi Huang. Upon entering the site, it was packed with people, and I didn't think I would be able to take photos, but we found a quieter spot on the right side of the pit. This is what it looked like using the ultra-wide camera. Here's 1x, 2x, 3x, and 6x. We're getting a bit closer, but it's not till 13.4x where we can begin to see some faces. Notice how each warrior looks different, each with their own hairstyle and facial expression. Now here's 30x, and I've decided I want to zoom in on that shy guy with the rounded forehead and big ears right there in the middle. At 60x, the photo is still sharp. Notice the texture on his face. Looks like he has a mole. And finally, 120x. There's a lot of smoothing at this point, but we can definitely make out the fear in his eyes. I really enjoyed both these telephoto cameras and loved that I could use them for nighttime street photography along Everbright City, as well as at Tang Paradise. As well as these awesome food photos at the various restaurants we done. Both telephoto cameras on the Find X8 Ultra also double as macro cameras, which is a better alternative to using the ultra-wide camera for macros. Because when you use the ultra-wide camera, you have to get really close. For example, the S25 Ultra has a minimum focus distance of 3 centimeters, and at this distance, the phone can still cast a shadow over your subject, as you can see in this photo. Using the telephoto cameras on the Find X8 Ultra, you get a minimum focus distance of 10 centimeters for macros that look like this. I really do enjoy macro photography, so here are a few more samples I shot in China. Always love a dandelion. This photo on the left is 1x. The middle is regular 3x, and look at that bokeh. And finally, on the right, the macro shot. Same thing here of this dietes bicolor. Leftmost is 1x, the middle is regular 3x, and on the right, the macro. OPPO claims the improvements made to both telephoto lenses on the Find X8 Ultra makes it the nighttime portrait master. So I took tons of photos in China, and here are some of my favorites. First, some during the day. These are from when we walked the Xi'an city wall in full Tang Dynasty regalia. I'm impressed at how well the X8 Ultra cut out all of Chai's stray hairs, as well as the beads on her headdress. Over the years, testing out many phones with Chai as the subject, these fine strands of hair have always posed a challenge to many smartphones. I also love this series of shots I took of Gareth, which I applied a Hasselblad filter to. Speaking of Hasselblad, while their partnership is long-standing, you even get this orange dot, X-Pan mode, and the iconic Hasselblad shutter sound. In some ways, I still feel their partnership is more of an afterthought. Anyway, just for fun, here's a portrait of all three of us together, taken by my buddy Tom, the tech chap. During bright sunny days, everyone's portraits all came out great, but even on one cloudy afternoon, these ones of Chai and I were solid too. But the challenge really for any smartphone camera is when the lights go down. So let's take a look at what nighttime portraits look like. This first photo was shot during blue hour as the light started to fade away, and with our model constantly in motion, the shot still turned out really good. So did this one. Not only is the bokeh lovely, but when you zoom in, the details on her face are still preserved and the photo tack sharp. Now some night portraits of some not so ordinary people. This was probably one of my favorite shots on this trip. Thanks for Tom for lighting this with a smartphone, and Gareth for capturing it. This one was shot at the Terracotta Museum, and while it may not be a showstopper, I wanted to use it as an example of a portrait shot in a room with very poor lighting. You wouldn't be able to tell from this photo as Gareth is still so well lit. Oh, here's another model, Chai, still in her Tang Dynasty couture. Same commentary as her daytime portrait. Look at that amazing cutout, even if her headpiece is still in motion. Okay, one last one. Me belting out, "I'll make a man out of you." You know how dimly lit karaoke rooms are. You wouldn't infer that that was the case here. The fifth camera on the OPPO Find X8 Ultra is called the True Chroma camera, and here is how it works. Before a photo is taken, it segments a scene into a 6x8 grid, and each square in that grid is used to measure color temperature individually. This is different from typical auto white balance, which computes based on an estimate of what the entire photo's temperature is. This is particularly useful in cases where there's a mix of white and warm light. In this first example, I'm standing by some neon lights, and while the left side of my face is pinkish from the light, the right side of my face has a more natural skin tone, which accurately represents the scene. Here's another of Gareth. His right side is flushed with yellow light from the neon, but overall, you can still see the pinks of his natural skin tone on both his face and his arms. Let's revisit a photo I used earlier and compare that to a similar shot I took on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. While both phones produced excellent low-light portraits, the Find X8 Ultra produced a more accurate retelling of this photo, especially in terms of the warmth on these yellow lanterns. It's the same case in this example. The Xiaomi seems to go a bit overboard in terms of white balance. While the model's makeup is more on the lighter side, the compensation takes away from that dreamy vibe of the warm lighting. In my test, the True Chroma camera did a great job in most cases. It's definitely the right approach and can only get better with future software updates. Now let's talk about video. The Find X8 Ultra can shoot 4K 60 FPS video across all of its cameras, and 120 FPS on both its 1x and 3x cameras, which is one step above what the iPhone 16 Pro Max offers. The iPhone is still the king of smartphone videography, so I was curious how the Find X8 Ultra would do. So here's a side-by-side comparison. If you look at its box, you'll see OPPO AI is a big focus for the company. I didn't get to test out these features as this is a China-only phone, so it uses OPPO's BeMo instead of Gemini, and I don't speak Chinese, so I wasn't able to test out these apps. If you'd like to learn more about OPPO's global approach to AI on smartphones, you should definitely check out this video. I'll put the link up here and down below to my video from MWC, where I covered all the new AI features that are coming to the Find N5, as well as the rest of the global Find X8 family. Recently, they even pushed out AI search, which lets you use natural language to search across your phone, like just typing in "my flight to Taipei." One thing I did get to test out is its excellent people removal tool. Even in tricky situations, it has not let me down. Not only does it cut out people from the background of a shot really well, it also does an excellent job filling in the background. The Find X8 Ultra is only available in China and starts at 6,499 Chinese yuan for the 12 plus 256GB model and just under 8,000 Chinese yuan for the 16 gig plus 1 terabyte model, which is about the same price as its competitors from Vivo and Xiaomi. So, is the OPPO Find X8 Ultra your gadget match? Let me start by saying, of all the Android phones that I've reviewed, the OPPO Find X8 Ultra is the best one. It's got the best of everything you could ever want in a smartphone, including some of the best smartphone cameras ever made. It's without a doubt one of GadgetMatch's best of 2025. That said, as I've mentioned many times in this video, it comes with one big and unfortunate caveat. The Find X8 Ultra is China only, and OPPO says it does not have any plans on making this phone available globally. Of course, that could all change if there is a significant enough clamor for it. My thoughts: OPPO's Find X8 Pro, which is available globally, is already a solid flagship. That said, the Find X8 Ultra stands as a testament to what companies outside of our Western bubble have to offer. A showcase of how amazing a phone company OPPO is and what it's capable of. It's just a shame that most people, apart from those who watch review videos like this one, won't even know that. And that was our Find X8 Ultra review. How do you feel about a dream phone that you can't really get your hands on? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, you know the drill, folks. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notified as soon as we post new videos. Follow me on social media for all the behind-the-scenes fun, travel, and fashion. And for news and updates, make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next video, I'm Michael Josh. Thanks for dropping by.